Back at you one more again. We're gonna get in here with Christina, Spiritual Fit Tarot. When I drop the link to her channel, y'all go over and subscribe to her and show us some love. All right, my babies.
Something backfired on somebody here in your environment when it comes to you. Judgment reverse, Three of Pentacles reverse. King of Cups. Water sign energy. We also have fixed energy. You know, it feels like there could have been some talk about you. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Judgment reverse. And behind the scenes, somebody may have stood up for you here. Okay, you know, Six of Swords is a guide. I do feel like with the King of Cups, the Nine of Cups, there's someone around you that stood up for you when you weren't around. Somebody may have said something and there was someone, Capricorn, that did not allow this person to spread misinformation about you. Who is this King of Cups? A friend? Three of Cups. You know, there's someone around you that I'm actually getting, there could be multiple people around you that may have corrected someone on something. Somebody may have tried to say, who is this? Who is this? Could be a coworker. Yeah, look, the Seven of Swords. This seems to be a common theme lately in the collective. The only thing different that I'm picking up with you, Capricorn, is you have people around you that have your back. There was somebody or a couple of people that were in your corner. Because this person, Five of Swords, they were trying to make you look bad, or I feel like somebody without even hesitation was trying to say something negative about you. I'm not quite sure what it was, okay? But then you had this person stand up for you behind the scenes. Could have been a water sign or a fixed sign involved. Ten of Cups. Yeah, they shut it down. They shut it all the way down. Because you're a good person. Somebody tried to make other people think you weren't, but they knew better. Other people knew better. I'm sensing like we got the Star, we got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, you're very well loved. Okay. So that's the first message. I think the reason why this is coming out, Capricorn, is it's just a reminder that you got more people rooting for you than you do going against you. Okay. I feel like the majority of the people in your environment are seeing you in an excellent light. Very good light here. You just have maybe a small amount of people. I'm getting at least one that wanted to say something negatively about you, but it just didn't go through. Okay. Capricorn, Capricorn. Capricorn. You're on the right path. The card literally says you're on the right path. Keep moving forward. You're not lost. Sometimes the right path is not always the easiest. Environment. The card says chaos around you also creates chaos in your head. Maybe a good time to organize your space. It's another common theme in the collective. Declutter your space and create an environment in which signals to the universe that you are ready for the next big step. So things have not been easy right? But your guides are coming through saying you are on the right path, and you could need to free up some space in your environment here. There may be some creative blocks happening because of your environment. Beginnings. Something new is emerging. For some of you guys, there's a new source of income coming through. And look, this card says make room for new possibilities. Make room for new possibilities. So take that how it resonates for you. We have comfort. Your finances will, I'm getting your finances falling into a state of balance. Okay. The card says, though you're not exactly rich, you will be living comfortably. Also, I'm getting your environment. Free up space. Capricorn, there may be some people around you that are in a bad mood or, just going through some things. And I feel like they may try to disrupt your peace. I do see that. Okay. And the best way to handle this type of energy around you, it's cliche, but the best way to handle it is to, first of all, make sure you know yourself.
Right.
Because when you know yourself, there's nothing anyone can say or do. No outside energy can affect you because you know you, and it doesn't matter anyone else's opinions. So knowing yourself is very important. And also realizing that we shouldn't take anything personally because, how do I want to say this? People really do the best they can with the level of knowledge they know and the things they're going through. And even the hateful people, they're not consciously aware, obviously, because when somebody is hateful and they're spewing hate or negativity, they're unconscious. They're not operating from a higher self. They're operating under the control of the devil, right? So to speak, whatever the devil could mean to you and your own personal beliefs, but they're operating from a place of negativity and they're under the control of negativity. So not taking it personally and just kind of realizing that that person is truly doing the best they can with what they're going through at the moment, even when people act evil, mean, things like that, not taking it personally has always worked for me. And I feel like your guides are coming through and telling me to tell you that. Thank you so much for the super chat, Natalie. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Divine timing. No blocks truly exist. Just the timeline of your success. Just the timeline of your success is not only up to you. So it says, let go and trust. Things may be slow and frustrating or not making sense. Divine timing assures that the universe is placing people, things, lessons, and more into your life only when you're ready.
Right.
So big message to be ready for new beginnings. And how do we get ready for new beginnings? We clear out all of the clutter. We clear out the things that are not serving us, okay? Because there's a big message here of you being on the right path, needing to free up space in your life to welcome more comforting and beautiful things. Give me divine timing, a little more specific with that. It says, let go and trust. There's something that you are doing that may seem blocked or slow. What is this? I'm just getting like you guys may be just ready for that happily ever after, happy ending, whatever that means to you, whatever this happily ever after is to you, because you're all going to view that differently. Not taking the negativity and boxing your. So just, I feel like there's a big message to understand, you know, your happily ever after is coming. In divine timing, whatever that means to you, this positive outcome is the light at the end of the tunnel. Let's just say that, right? Divine timing, light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, you may not see it now because you're wearing a blindfold here, and the blindfold is just all the negativity that is blocking your view from the light. And I feel like one way to get through this is, first of all, you know, clear out the clutter. And second of all, don't be a victim of other people. Only you, obviously there's some exceptions to everything I say. However, in regards to what this is talking about, only you can allow yourself to be a victim. You can either allow yourself to be a victim of other people's BS, or you can see the light at the tunnel, take off the blindfold, and not operate from this lower level dimension that these other people are in, okay? So that's what I'm getting. Joe, thank you for this. Oh, Joa, thank you so much, babe, for the super chat. Thank y'all. Okay. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. We're going to move on to, let's see who's thinking about you. Y'all can hear that ruckus back there. I think that's actually, oh no, I might be, oh, that's Luna and Malachite. Thank God Malachite decided to play with Luna this morning. Okay. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising, and Malachite actually has been super playful this morning. Like, he's been acting nuts, for real. Okay, really nuts. But anyway, we're really doing some parkour this morning. Anyway. Okay. Y'all can probably see them running around in the background. All right. Who's thinking about Capricorn? Who is thinking about Capricorn? Okay. You're receiving signs and synchronicities. Okay. Oh, someone from your past. All right. That's who's thinking about you. I think that you've received, some of you guys, this caused you to start to look at the world through a new lens. I'm getting, after meeting this person, you started seeing 555, 444, 1111, 222, even master numbers, okay? You started seeing signs everywhere, and this is somebody from your past that is thinking about you currently. I have to say, it feels like this person may have been in a negative place, okay, when you two were interacting with each other. I think this person was in a negative space here, energetically. So why are they thinking about Capricorn? Why are they thinking about you? Because they want to talk to you. They still see, you know what, though? The Page of Wands. Yeah, they do want to talk to you, but the Page of Wands is a bit of a, I call him the mischief maker, an instigator. I think somebody wants to talk to you, Capricorn, because they are just kind of bored with not being in your energy, or bored not being around you. They don't really have, yeah, look, 3 of Wands in reverse. they don't really have a whole lot going for them right now. I'm actually getting this person is experiencing delays and setbacks in their life. And so they're thinking about you and how the connection was so free-spirited. And there was a point you two had like great potential. I do feel like they're thinking about the beginning, early stages of meeting you. Why are they thinking about you? They want to communicate. That's why they're thinking about you. They're curious about what you got going on in your life right now. Who are you talking to? What are you up to? There's just a lot of curiosity there. You know, whether or not this person was able to find you, they're telling me that they're trying to look you up, okay? Some of you guys, they were successful.
Because of the content that I'm putting out there in Escaping from Eden and the Scars of Eden, people do ask me from time to time, Paul, are you still a Christian? And there are two answers to that question. And the first is that if you went to Clement of Alexandria, Justin Martyr, Origen, or Marcion,
Wallis,
very significant Christian leaders in the days of the early church, they would have said exactly what I'm putting out in Escaping from Eden and Scars of Eden. And they'd have said, yes, absolutely, Paul's a Christian. The second answer is that, of course, when you open your mind to the probability that we are in a populated universe, of course it reframes how you see God, reframes how you see Jesus, how you see the universe, and how you understand human beings. We are on high ground in the shelter of a wooded ridge, looking out across the fertile lands of the Levant. It is populated by people who are so big that the spies returning from reconnaissance are questioning whether an invasion is even possible. Their report is unnerving. They made us feel like grasshoppers. Why are these people so gigantic? They are the Anakim, a people group whose history goes all the way back to the beginning times when Bene Elohim took human females and produced the giants called Nephilim. The Anakim, so the story goes, have been among us ever since. We're in the book of Joshua, hearing the writer reaffirm the Hebrew memory of a hybridization which combined the traits of the Bene Elohim, ones like the powerful ones, the second wave of powerful ones. The fact that this hybridized ancestry is memorialized with the name Anakim is striking. The word Anakim is uncannily close to the Sumerian word for our ancient hybridizers, the Anunnaki. Anakim, Anunnaki. According to the Hebrew tradition, Anak was the progenitor of the giant Anakim. The Hebrew Anak has a counterpart in Islam, Anak, a female. Her son is the king Uj, who is also a giant. In the Hebrew tradition, Uj is called Og. Og, aka Uj, is so large that in the Hebrew tradition, we're told that his bed was 13 feet long by 6 feet wide. If we go to the Greek mythology, we find King Anax, the progenitor of the Anactorians, also a race of giants reputed to be 15 feet tall. So the fact that you've got these very similar names, Anak, Anak, Anax, Anak, Anakim, Anunnaki, hints at the possibility that a real memory of real gigantic people has been carried by diverse cultures and traditions all around the world. Stories of giants crop up in mythologies all around the world. Celtic, Norse, Hindu, Native American, and Aboriginal Australian traditions all speak of giants sharing the planet with our distant ancestors. If these stories are rooted in ancestral memory, it would be reasonable to expect some giant remains to have been found and tested. As it happens, finds of anomalously large human remains have indeed been made, and most frequently in the Americas. In the USA, between 1819 and 1859, finds of anomalously large human remains were found in Missouri, Ohio, West Virginia, Iowa, California, and Pennsylvania. The finds were reported in the press and for a time were curated by the Smithsonian Institute in Washington. Extra fingers, jaws full of molar teeth, and other physical anomalies really cried out for what we would do today, which is DNA testing, to find out who these gigantic North Americans were. Were they another species, or were they just unusually large and interesting people? As it happens, the remains have been repatriated in accordance with the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. Now, their repatriation is certainly a respectful act, and I wouldn't decry that. But absent of DNA testing, we have no way of knowing if this was another species or something very different in the timeline of Homo sapiens, or if they just were unusual and very large people. The same tantalizing question applies to another group of mysterious visitors to the Levant in the 2nd millennium BCE. The circumstances of this encounter, described in Genesis 18, relate to the conception of a child named Isaac, the son of Abraham and Sarah, the progenitors of the Hebrew tradition. Abraham and Sarah emerged It's so interesting, the aspect of privileged information. I grew up watching Doctor Who and Star Trek, the original series. And I knew I enjoyed those series. I knew I found them very resonant. What I had no idea of at the time was that there was privileged information in those scripts, and there was channeled information in those scripts that talked about real narratives, real technology, real entities, and it was all secreted in there how it's always been. When information is buried or suppressed, it always leaks out somehow or another. And sometimes it's through secret groups leaking information to writers, filmmakers, script writers, and sometimes it's because the information is provided by the other company we have from Close Encounters, or it's channeled information. And so that's why you can go to fiction and find a lot of actual information in it. I was watching The Eternals the other day with my kids, and I kept saying as they were watching it, hey, that's in my book. That's in Echoes of Eden. And in the end, I had to leave the room because they just wanted me to leave so they could watch the movie. It was beautifully written, I think, and layered with esoteric and ancient information. So much of what I've learned from Plato is now being taught in the Marvel Universe, and it's being done very deliberately, and I think in a very positive way. I think we can be provided with information through fiction. We resonate with it. We know there's something deeper to it, and it may be further down the track as we start doing our own research or reading ancient sources or listening to ancestral narratives, that we begin to recognize the things and think, wait a minute, I've heard that before. And we begin to recognize the value of what we call storytelling. There was a book that came out about 25 years ago called the Bible Code. And what's so interesting about that is that the Bible, as we know it, and we're speaking here about the Hebrew scriptures at this point, not the New Testament, but the Hebrew scriptures, what we call the Old Testament. It is a book today, but it hasn't always been a book. It's a collection of books, a collection of writings. Even the individual books of the Bible, like Genesis, are libraries of ancient stories. And it evolved into its current state. It would have begun with the stories of beginnings that Abraham and Sarah curated, the progenitors of the Hebrew tradition, stories they may have brought with them having grown up in a Sumerian-based culture. And then at some point, those stories were added to, and you get the Pentateuch, a set of writings that are created to teach the Mosaic law. They pull together some other stories.
Welcome to the fifth kind.
Vladimir Sherbak and Maxim Akulov from the Al-Farabi Kazakh National University and the Fezenkov Astrophysical Institute have devoted 13 years to the Human Genome Project, mapping human DNA coding. Together, they have concluded that human beings were intelligently designed with what they describe as arithmetic patterns and symbolic language encoded into our DNA. Makulov and Sherbak have identified 9 multiples of 37 scattered through our genetic code. Speaking to New Scientist, Makulov described the pattern as very hard to ascribe to natural processes. In 1985, Carl Sagan wrote his only novel, and it became the movie Contact in 1997. The story revolves around a signal broadcast to planet Earth from a distant and advanced civilization. And the clue in the signal, that it is a non-random signal, that it's come from an intelligent source, is a repetition of prime numbers in the frequency of the signal. That is something that couldn't occur naturally. This is from an intelligent source. Where did Carl Sagan get that wonderful idea of the repetition of primes being a signature? It's a strange coincidence, because Vladimir Sherbak and Maxim Akulov, who are 2 top authorities in the field of human DNA research, have identified exactly that signature in the DNA coding for human beings. In our genetic code, there occur 9 repetitions of multiples of 37 in our DNA. And the researchers point out that the likelihood of that happening by chance are 1 in 10 trillion. In a mastery of understatement, Makulov explained, "It was clear right away that the code has a non-random structure. Sooner or later, we have to accept the fact that all life on Earth carries the genetic code of our extraterrestrial cousins, and that evolution is not what we think it is." The Russian physicist Yuri Rumer first identified one set of repetitions back in 1966. Francis Crick, the co-discoverer of the double helix structure of DNA, and senior physicist Leslie Orgel added their voice to support the theory that the origins of human DNA are extraterrestrial. In the 21st century, Maxim Akulov and Vladimir Sherbak have added the weight of solid data and empirical support. This is information we've only had in the last decade. So how did Carl Sagan know this in 1985? It wouldn't be the first time that privileged information had been passed on to a movie maker or a scriptwriter. But on the other hand, I happen to know that Carl Sagan was a student of the world's ancient mythologies, and in particular the Babylonian and Sumerian? Did he find something buried there that gave him this clue of what we were to find? Merkulov and Scherbak argue that those who intervened in human evolution very deliberately left their signature behind in our DNA coding for us to find. In fact, modern film lore is littered with narratives that suggest an ET intervention in the